From fame to prison, 10 athletes who lost everything. At the peak of their careers, these athletes stood in arenas packed with cheering fans, signed autographs, and earned millions. But off the field, in the shadows of fame and fortune, choices, and in some cases, dark impulses, led them down a path toward crimes, courtrooms, and eventual incarceration. The stories that follow are not just about criminal charges. They are about human fallibility, fame's pressure, and the high cost of mistakes that resonate far beyond sport. 1. Aaron Hernandez, Patriots star-to-murder convict. Once a rising star tight end for the New England Patriots, Aaron Hernandez's life derailed dramatically in 2013 when he was arrested and charged with the murder of Odin Lloyd. Hernandez was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without parole. While incarcerated, he took his own life in 2017, his story becoming a stark reminder of how unchecked aggression and violence can destroy even the most promising careers. 2. Ray Caruth, NFL first-round pick convicted of murder. Ray Caruth was a first-round NFL draft pick and rising wide receiver for the Carolina Panthers. In 2001, he was convicted for conspiring to murder his pregnant girlfriend, Cherika Adams, shooting her in a case that stunned the sports world and left his unborn child fighting for survival. Caruth served approximately 18 years in prison before his release in 2018. 3. O.J. Simpson, from NFL legend to prison sentence. O.J. Simpson, one of football's most beloved Hall of Famers, is perhaps most infamously known for his 1995 acquittal in the murder of his ex-wife and her friend. Years later, in 2007, Simpson was convicted of armed robbery, kidnapping, and other charges after attempting to retrieve sports memorabilia at gunpoint in Las Vegas. He was sentenced to up to 33 years in prison and served 9 before being granted parole. 4. Marion Jones, Olympic gold to prison. Marion Jones was one of the most dominant track and field athletes of her generation, earning multiple Olympic medals. But in 2007, she admitted to using performance, enhancing drugs, and lying to federal agents during the Balco scandal. She served 6 months in federal prison for making false statements, her legacy forever tarnished. 5. Mike Tyson, boxing's baddest man behind bars. Mike Tyson was a global boxing phenomenon, feared, revered, and a multi-champion. In 1992, he was convicted of raping an 18-year-old woman in Indianapolis and sentenced to 6 years in prison, of which he served 3. Tyson's fall from grace was swift and shocking, yet his later life has been marked by high-profile reconciliation with his past. 6. Art Schlichter, quarterback in gambling downfall. Art Schlichter was a promising quarterback drafted by the Baltimore Colts. His gambling addiction ruined his NFL prospects and led to decades of legal troubles. In 2012, he pled guilty to conspiracy related to a fake ticket scheme and was sentenced to over 10 years in prison for fraud and gambling-related crimes. 7. Esteban Loaiza, MLB star to drug conviction. Pitcher Esteban Loaiza enjoyed a successful Major League Baseball career, even making 2 All-Star teams. In 2018, however, he was arrested in California after authorities found 40 pounds of cocaine in his vehicle. He was sentenced to 3 years in federal prison before being deported to Mexico upon release. 8. Jason Williams, NBA All-Star and manslaughter sentence. Jason Williams was an NBA All-Star whose career was cut short by injury. In 2002, Williams accidentally shot and killed his limo driver while showing friends a firearm. Convicted of aggravated assault in connection with the death, he was sentenced to 5 years in prison, with the case sparking discussions about athletes and access to firearms. 9. Mercury Morris, undefeated champion to prison inmate. Mercury Morris was a symbol of perfection in American sports history. As a running back for the 1972 Miami Dolphins, he helped deliver the NFL's only undefeated season, securing his place in football immortality. For decades, Morris proudly defended that legacy, often reminding new champions that perfection was rare and belonged to him. But in 2006, Morris's life took a dramatic turn. He was convicted in Texas for cocaine trafficking after authorities linked him to a large drug distribution operation. Prosecutors painted a picture of a former sports hero entangled in serious criminal activity, and Morris was sentenced to 20 years in prison, a stunning fall for a man once celebrated nationwide. Years later, the story took another twist. In 2016, after nearly a decade behind bars, Morris's conviction was overturned due to prosecutorial misconduct, and he was released. While his freedom was restored, the damage to his reputation lingered. His story remains a sobering reminder that even legends can find themselves lost far from the spotlight, and that justice, like fame, can be fragile. 10. Yugith Urbina, MLB pitcher sentenced for attempted murder. Yugith Urbina was once one of Major League Baseball's most dominant closers. In 2006, he was arrested in Venezuela and later convicted of attempted murder and possession of illegal firearms. Urbina was sentenced to 14 years in prison and spent significant time incarcerated before his release. These athletes dominated their games, yet off the field and court, choices, whether criminal acts, violent impulses, or poor decisions, reshaped their legacy. Their stories are cautionary tales about how fame and wealth can obscure personal struggles, and how the law ultimately holds even stars accountable.